Your thoughts on any of today's topics, you can request to join the stage and participate in the discussion, or comment in the chat in the video stream. You can find all of today's headlines on our website, musicindustrycity.com. Just head to the latest Music News at Noon post to see all the articles we referenced during today's broadcast. You can also register for free to get unlimited access to all the articles, news, and events in the city. And you may also watch us live on the video stream right from the website or on the Music Industry City YouTube channel. All right, is everybody ready? We begin our countdown right now.
Hello and welcome. It's great to have you with us on this Tuesday. I'm Peter Schwing, and here's what's happening. Wargasm called for action from the Scala following a backstage assault. BandLab buys ReverbNation in artist services expansion. What's the Metaverse and what's in it for music? Zara Larsson passes $1 million of Roblox virtual merchandise sales. And Spotify has tried being Netflix. Now it wants to be YouTube. Those stories are coming up, but first, let's take a look at this day in history. This day in history is where we honor those who have passed away, those who were born, and some maybe interesting tidbits that occurred in this day in the past. In November 1999, we lost American producer, songwriter, and co-founder of Atlantic Records, Herb Abramson, who died at the age of 82. In 2008, Miriam Makeba, the South African singer who reached number 12 on the Billboard chart in 1967 with Pata Pata, suffered a fatal heart attack at the age of 76. Among her many notable achievements was becoming the first African woman to win a Grammy for Best Folk Recording in 1966 with Harry Belafonte for An Evening with Belafonte, Makeba. In 2015, Scottish session drummer Andy White died at the age of 82. He was affectionately christened the fifth Beatle, as he was best known for replacing Ringo Starr on drums on the Beatles' first single, Love Me Do, which basically is about a dozen fifth Beatles. All right, and born on this day, 1954, Dennis Stratton, the guitarist for Iron Maiden. In 1969, born Sandra Denton, Peppa, from American hip-hop rap trio from New York City called Salt and Peppa. November 9th, 1977, brought Cisco, a.k.a. Mark Andrews, who had the 2000 U.S. and UK hit song, Thong Song. And in this day in history, in 1990, the Internal Revenue Service seized all of U.S. country singer Willie Nelson's bank accounts and real estate holdings in connection with a $16 million tax debt. November 9th, 2002. It was announced that Madonna's latest movie, Swept Away, would not be released in the UK because it had been such a box office flop in the US. The Washington Post said the film was, quote, as awful as you've heard and as bad as you've imagined. I didn't even know about this movie, so it must have been really bad. So I never even actually heard about this movie. So this is where we get into this day in history and those who have passed in memory. All right, to set the stage for discussion, we provide informed perspectives and commentary on current headlines. If you'd like to offer your thoughts on one of today's topics, you can request to join the stage. I'd also like to say hi to everyone viewing the show in our video live stream on YouTube or directly from the Music Industry City website. To stay up to date on this and other programming, you can sign up at musicindustrycity.com for more news, articles, and events. And with that, let's get to it. All right, and this first one is from Complete Music Update. Wargasm calls for action from the Scala following backstage assault. A security officer allegedly assaulted Wargasm Sam Matlock at London's Scala. The band has now requested action. Wargasm stated on social media, quote, "While we were trying to load out, a bouncer was verbally aggressive to our female tour manager, causing Sam to step in." According to the statement, 3 bouncers carried Sam into the backstage bathrooms, where 2 of them slammed his head into the toilet seat and held his head in the toilet bowl, while a 3rd bouncer locked the door with his foot. Injured, another member of our tour party was able to intercede and remove Sam from the situation. They go on to say, quote, "We feel that anyone visiting or playing at this venue should be aware of our deeply shocking experience and the treatment of our team by the security staff." Orgasm's management said in a statement, "We now know that Scala is not a safe place for women as long as the current security team is employed there." The face down organizers said in a statement, "We are aware of an incident with the security at Scala involving Wargasm. Firstly, we sincerely apologize for this. While we do not provide security for our events, as this is the venue's duty, we do not tolerate such treatment of anyone in the audience or backstage. The venue has been informed and await their response." And the Scala has yet to comment. All right, and this one from IQ Mag. Encore musicians make carbon negative pledge. As world leaders gather in Glasgow for the COP26 climate meeting, Encore musicians claim to be the world's first carbon negative music agency. Encore has announced it is double offsetting the CO2 emissions created when musicians travel to events by planting a tree for every booking and reducing, then offsetting the carbon footprint of all business operations. The company has also reduced its carbon footprint by going paperless, using renewable energy in their office, offering the option of green pensions for employees, and a cycle-to-work scheme to encourage commuting by bike. The Encore CEO and co-founder James McAuley said, "We wanted to create the world's first sustainable way to book musicians today, not in 5 years. We're sick of hearing other companies talk about their vague 2030 emission reduction plans. The climate catastrophe is now, and urgent action is required. We can't squander time." Encore musicians travel millions of miles every year to perform for our customers, and we now fully own those emissions. Encore then purchases double the number of carbon offsets required to cover the transport emissions. It goes on to say, "This isn't an optional upgrade we ask customers or musicians to pay for. It's included as standard on every booking, and Encore pays for it." It goes on to conclude, we're the world's first music label to do this, and I hope other labels follow suit. We can make a significant impact as an industry and motivate others to join us. So good cause, and we're going to hear more about this. I know a lot of we're going to start seeing this climate awareness is something that is really important in an environment, and we're starting to see a lot of people come out and promote. I just worked on an event, and the venue just asked us, like, please, no water, no plastic water bottles. Use cans, because they want it to be better for the environment. So this is part of, like, you're going to start seeing this change over, and this is good because we need to do something. We want to keep Mother Earth happy, because when Mother Earth's happy, we're happy. All right, we're going to move over to Music Ally. This is BandLab buys ReverbNation and Artist Services Expansion, which I didn't even know ReverbNation was still around. It's been many years, and I know when they came out, it was great. Just never really seen what they had been up to in the last few years, but apparently it's still something. So music creation firm BandLab is announcing its latest acquisition, and it's one of the true veterans of the digital music industry. The company is buying ReverbNation from its current parent company, E Minor, for an undisclosed amount. Founded in 2006, ReverbNation has historically focused on providing services for independent artists. For example, the pitch at 2009 Medium Net Conference, when its set marketing widgets were being used by more than 300,000 artists. Nowadays, its services include distribution, website building, electronic press kits, and aggregating opportunities ranging from sync and brand deals to festival and showcase conference slots. We have a clear vision of the role BandLab plays in supporting creators worldwide today and into the future. Artist services are a key part of that plan, as evidenced by our recently announced subscriptions and distribution offerings, says BandLab CEO Meng Kuok. This acquisition allows us to accelerate BandLab's product roadmap and further enable us to break down technical, geographical, and creative barriers facing musicians and fans. So it sounds like taking the foundation of what they're doing and adding the support and the infrastructure of what ReverbNation has produced. I don't know if I go back. I say, how many people have used ReverbNation in the last handful of years? It's tough to find that, but this sounds like it could be promising of taking that foundation, the infrastructure, and building upon it, and just having some good offerings for musicians, make life easier as we can looking at consolidation and this DIY, as I like to say, do it all yourself. So if there's any way to help musicians centralize and keep assets and everything together and work more efficiently, I'm all for it. All right, we're hearing a lot. The word is the metaverse. We're not talking just about Facebook's Meta rebranding, but we are going to talk about that. And this is from Billboard. So this one, it's a great article that dives in deep. So I'm going to just take some highlights here. If you want to look at the full article, you can go to musicindustrycity.com, click onto the headline today, and then we have links to all the articles. And if you also want to check out the video live stream, I'll wave to you right now. You can go there and you can see the video live stream going on as well. All right, so the article is what's the metaverse and what's in it for music, which is a great question. So the article goes on, Facebook's late October rebranding as Meta has people talking in and out of tech. The business has pledged $10 billion this year to establish the basis for an online ecosystem largely considered as the future of digital social connectedness. The metaverse is the next generation of the internet, allowing us to digitally engage with friends and colleagues around the world. It's a big notion that, despite the fanfare, is still theoretical. But if you like science fiction movies like Ready Player One, you're on the right track. The metaverse will be a layer atop the actual world compatible with how we live now. Instead of a Zoom conversation with a coworker in Europe, you can put on your VR glasses and talk to them as if you were right there in front of them. You want to see a Rolling Stones in Rio? Avoid the travel and buy virtual front row tickets in 8K resolution with spatial audio. Can't make Thanksgiving? Make an appearance as life-size hologram in real life. If you don't have a camera ready, send your avatar. And that's what really is happening in the metaverse. So you don't have to stare, you don't have to stare at your laptop camera screen while on a Zoom call just awkwardly, because it also doesn't line up with the eye line. You're trying to look at the person and they're just looking at the camera. That's so weird. But anyway, for the music industry, this has many use cases. So music will be streamed and concerts will be viewed, providing a new cash stream. You may have a virtual home in a metaverse that needs to be adorned, a lucrative market for NFTs. And if you want to host a global metaverse party with your friends, you can hire a DJ who can do 3 or 4 shows a day from home. According to the many in the IT sector, the metaverse will be a second world with many of the same monetizable features as real life and new revenue streams that will propel the music industry to new heights. The world's trillion-dollar firms are heavily investing in the metaverse, aiming to secure a stake in the internet's future. Microsoft is investing in the metaverse's corporate side, producing virtual versions of important products like Teams and Office. Xbox will be a key factor. Apple is working on a mixed reality, virtual and augmented headset, and AR glasses. And Meta, which, Facebook, Meta will also unveil its own mixed reality headgear, now dubbed Project Cambria, sometime next year. And the metaverse wraps up saying it's likely to materialize with billions invested in the entire weight of the world's most valuable companies behind it. The major question today is whether the metaverse we imagine will live up to our hopes. Is anybody actually playing in the metaverse? Is anybody over in Decentraland attending events in Roblox, Minecraft parties? The one thing that they were talking about here and they skipped over is Microsoft. They talking about Microsoft is investing in the corporate side. Not just that. Microsoft owns AltSpace VR. So you look at this in AltSpace VR, especially during the pandemic, many DJs that if you were to buy 4 turntables, 4 CDJs, you can tell I'm an old school DJ, 4 CDJs and that mixer, you're spending thousands of dollars. You can you can put on a pair of Oculus headset, $299. Buy Tribe for $29.99, maybe a couple upgrades or something like that. Maybe you're spending $40 on it. And you now have those 4 CDJs and the mixer, and you can stream anywhere live. You can actually tag team with people. And these were the parties that are going on in AltSpace and VR chat things like that. Neos, there's so many different platforms, and it's amazing what they're doing. And being able to have this monetization stream, so they can say, here's our Patreon, or donate here, here's, whatever, Cash App, Venmo, anything like that. So these are different worlds, and once they figure out the monetization behind those simple areas. So like what they said about Microsoft with Altspace, they have Mesh. So I saw Mixmaster Mike, DJ Mixmaster Mike, in an Altspace venue that they created, and he was like a hologram. It was real life, but it was amazing just to see like that person's right there. And the cool thing about it is when you're on the stage, if they're facing you, if you're on the left side of the room and you're facing them on the stage, you move to the right side, they don't change. It's not like you're now staring at their back. It's really amazing what they're doing. So Microsoft is not just on corporate. They are doing amazing stuff on corporate. We're going to see what happens with Facebook. But if anybody has any comments, like wants to jump on the stage here, feel free to raise your hand, or any comments in the audience of like anything that you've seen that might be cool or interesting that you are looking forward to or have worked on. I mean, we have in Music Industry City, you're going to see this. We have a little XR world, extended reality. I mean, everything kind of falls under VR, like, dance music falls under EDM. But we have an XR world that we're going to be introducing more and more on the website, that you can go hang out and just visit with people, and you can be an avatar. You can turn on your camera if you want. We've done a video release party with the band. We're going to be doing some more, and there's so many things that you can do. And as an artist, it doesn't cost a lot of money. I mean, there's Frame VR. Look at some of these that you can build your own world rather easily without spending a lot of money. You can do some really creative things for your audience. And like if you're on Altspace, and Altspace is also 2D, you can access it from your computer, from a laptop. You need to have some power. It can't be something from maybe 10 years ago, but you can do a lot with templates that are already and you can do events. And there's a great ways to engage with your audience, as opposed to just another Instagram, another TikTok, another email. So it's great. This is what, artists are going to really be able to tap into. And once you can add more about this, the NFTs, and we're going to talk about this in a second, is, tying it in, is these wearables and all this stuff. So right now, yeah, it's a little more difficult to add these wearables, if you're just starting out. But pay attention to this, because there is money to be made. These are those upsells. These are those add-ons. These are your merch, and think of it as in digital merch. So that's why I want to segue into this next article, because it is talking about Zara Larsson passes $1 million of Roblox virtual merchandise sales. And so, she's one of the most prominent artists that have held an event on Roblox, and she appears to be doing rather well of it. She told BBC News that she has earned over $1 million from selling virtual merchandise on the game's platform since May this year. She goes on to say, quote, "My jaw dropped when I heard. I didn't really think much about it. It wasn't really the motivation for the concert. I just wanted to connect with the fans." So, so she added, by comparison, streaming services don't pay the most, and that earning a similar sum from YouTube or Spotify would take a long, long time and hundreds of millions of streams. 1.6 million fans attended Larson's Roblox concert. And as they say, as far as they're aware, she is the second artist to gross more than 1 million in virtual merch sales on the platform, with Lil Nas X also in a healthy 7 figures from his merch sales in July. So this is really interesting to pay attention to. This is where, like, it's not necessarily you have to dive so much into NFTs and all that. It's pay attention, see what's going on, because these type of digital, like, wearables and all this are things like, if anybody's on Twitch, these are like when you like subscribe to my channel for $4.99 and you get emotes. Here, I made some custom emotes. Maybe you can just go to Fiverr and you pay somebody, it's like, hey, I got $20, I got $100 or something like that. Can you make me custom emotes? Can you make me? You can find that this ecosystem, this culture, creator economy is based on not just being able to go find, like, oh, I got to pay this artist, this graphic designer, all this money to do something. It's like, well, no, you find other creators that are in the same space as you. You're trying to get your music. You're trying to sell merch. You're trying to do things, and on a platform. Well, on Fiverr and other platforms like that, there are plenty of people out there that you can hire without spending a lot of money on, just to get these little things. Like POAPs or something that you're going to see, it's spelt POAP, like soap, but with a P. But paying attention to POAPs. These are just coins, like little tokens saying, I attended an event. And people want those. Just to say, it's like keeping your ticket stub. So if you can start creating memorable experiences and something for your audience to take away, this is where we're at. This is what this metaverse is about, because the physical product isn't there, like a physical ticket stub that you stick in the old. I mean, I have ticket stubs that the glue on the old photo albums just all falling. It's like all dried up. But it's great. It's like, oh, I was at this concert in 1996 or whatever. I saw Soundgarden here. I saw Pearl Jam there for $5. But being able to give an offering to your fans of something as a takeaway, that's what it's about right now. That's the true engagement. That's what we're looking at. That's what the metaverse is going to be about. So if you start looking into that, just start paying attention to it, see what's going on, and see where maybe there might be an opportunity for you. All right, and with that being said, we're going to wrap up on Spotify. This is something I've been talking about for years now, is that, wait until Spotify starts turning up the video. And they attempted it, but it backed off. And this one talks about it here. And this is from Bloomberg. And it says, Spotify has tried being Netflix. Now it wants to be YouTube. So the article goes on. Spotify wants to help other podcasters become Joe Rogan. A new service from Spotify allows podcasters to upload video recordings of their shows. So anyone who has followed Spotify for a long time might be feeling the deja vu after licensing video from firms like ESPN and Comedy Central. The company tried creating original series. Neither worked. Some employees argued that customers never wanted video in an audio app. Others say Spotify didn't invest enough. The co-founder, Daniel Ek, said this time is different. In the past, he was trying to force video onto the service. This time, he is adding videos because it's been requested by the creators. He goes on to say, quote, it's more natural. Joe Rogan was the first one that worked out really well. We are expanding that, allowing more podcast creators to upload podcasts and video. So you like it or not, the project represents a subtle but substantial shift at Spotify. It all starts with the word creator. And Eck describes Spotify as a platform for musicians and a tool to bypass traditional music industry gatekeepers. On the other hand, he aimed to disintermediate the record business by allowing artists to contribute music without the main problem for Spotify is that the online music services didn't make enough money since right holders gets most of the sales. So that was when they were trying to, you could just directly upload to Spotify. They were trying all that out. So Spotify abandoned that trial. Then he moved on to podcasting. So at first they built out its podcasting business, talking about like splashy deals with talent, Michelle Obama, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle. And analysts compared the strategy to Netflix, which went from licensing TV shows from studios to making its own shows. So after years of relying on music companies for its programming, considered songs, Spotify was creating original series podcasts. So Spotify hoped that by reducing the music's share of its overall listening, it might be able to extract better terms from record labels. And this is all part of those negotiations that's going on that they've been fighting from the CRB rates since 2016. So the analogy was flawed because it's not about being Netflix. So TV studios stopped licensing to Netflix and instead created their own streaming services. Music companies haven't stopped licensing to Spotify, and they're not about to. So Spotify's investment in podcasting has another aspect that resembles YouTube more than Netflix, because simultaneously with the acquisition of Gimlet Media and Parcast, Spotify announced the deal with Anchor, providing a podcasting software, and Spotify eventually acquired the ad tech firm Megaphone. So now they have all the operations in place for a true 360 podcasting service. So this podcasting drive is focused on celebrities and originals. Bill Simmons gets a lot more attention than streaming ad insertion. So Anchor and Megaphone, which are part of their mission, is a platform that hosts other people's works instead of creating it. Sound familiar? Spotify has always been a tech company. Engineers, not content teams, make most of the business choices. So they're, toting that like nothing is going to get Spotify to 1 billion users. No single podcast will turn Spotify into a $20 billion ad industry. So they're looking to sell ads for all the smaller service platforms and shows that can't afford a sales team, which is basically what YouTube does. So Spotify, what they need to establish an ad business to do so. So initially the company was unconcerned with advertising, but now to convert free users into paying subscribers, concentrated on providing a free service. The music industry agreed since they disliked giving it all away for free. So they had the ad platforms So now Spotify is on pace to eclipse the $1 billion in ad sales this year. And Eck has talked about advertising as an $18 billion opportunity. And he wants to lure the radio advertisers into the internet. So now we're looking at going back to the original is saying that Spotify is not a music streaming service anymore. This is not their priority. So he talks about how the Netflix on radio, how Netflix talks about, he talks about radio, how Netflix talks about cable. So radio still has more listeners and advertisers than streaming music, while radio like TV has plateaued, streaming is exploding. So Spotify hopes to develop more inventory and more critically high-end inventory by integrating video. YouTube advertisements sell faster than Spotify ads. At the moment, video ads cost more than audio ads. And that's what closes out from X responses. So it's interesting that we're now looking at this video platform coming in. They tested it. It's been there. They're modifying it. This is the pivot. And now with Joe Rogan, what a perfect, a great example to test it out, because Rogan was known for his video on YouTube. But now with the exclusive deal, it went away from YouTube, but he wanted the videos back. People are enjoying it. Now, how do they monetize that? How do they monetize like what YouTube has done? I mean, YouTube years ago, there was no ads if the channel wasn't monetized. Now it's just turning into an insane amount of ads. Now you'll get a forced 15 followed by a skippable 90, but you can skip it after 5, and then the mid rolls, and these aren't even monetized channels. So it's really getting crazy what YouTube and with all their advertising in there. So, but it is a model that Spotify could adapt with their podcast. So it's really interesting. And same like, building off of Twitch. It's harder to do the Netflix model there, what they're trying to do, but you're going to see they already have these podcasts with original content, and they're bringing in original, and you're going to start seeing this grow and grow and grow. Spotify will become the 360 vertical of an entertainment platform, and we're just waiting for movies to get there in the next, 12 to 18 months for exclusive more music documentaries, because they already had stuff like that, but people were still not prepared. It might have been too early to the game for them to incorporate video, but now as they're teasing it in, people are going to become accustomed to video. The creators are asking for it, and now we're going to see this grow. So music secondary, but so it's going to be interesting to see, because what these ad platforms, and Spotify is not profitable, so that's what they're trying to do here. But is that going to help the music sector at all? Honestly, don't think so. I think it's going to still be the same arguments about paying out as little, and we're going to hear this for years and years and years. If anybody has any thoughts on this, that's it for the reads. I'm going to put 2 minutes on the clock. If anybody has any thoughts, feel free to raise your hand, come up to the stage, or anybody in the chat. How you doing over in the video chat? And again, we are going to be launching a new show coming up soon in the next couple months on Music Industry City. We are doing a test pilot, and this is with Chloe Richter. It goes by Songbirds, the magazine, and she. So it's going to be November 16th. If you go head over to musicindustrycity.com. It says November networking event. We're actually changing it. So let me bring up Mike here, and so if you want to check that out, support. It's going to be our test pilot. We want to actually get your feedback and your thoughts on it. Mike, did you want to come up, Mike? Because I just pinged you up and said you couldn't after you asked to come up. So, Mike, there you are. What's up?
Hey, good show today.
Thank you.
I was, listening to you talk about the ReverbNation deal, and they've been around for a long time, since 2005, and the company that acquired them was founded in 2015. Which I think kind of speaks to the different growth and critical mass velocities that the company's achieved. But also, as you said, it's been a while since I've heard a lot of artists using the service. So I was wondering if anyone, if you've been hearing anything out there, if anyone replied to you when you asked the question.
Yeah, nobody replied, and just in general, just people. I remember, ReverbNation used to be a sponsor years ago for stuff I was working on, and I remember the band I was working on. They rolled out a new platform in there, and they were touting like, 1 million people are going to see this, and they sent out the email with the band I was managing. It was like front and center. It was a premiere. It was a showcase slot. It was all this. and nothing happened. I mean, the needle didn't even get off the ground. And it was really interesting. We're like, what is the platform doing? I mean, how can you send out, say you're there's going to be a million hits on this and not a single like nothing, literally nothing happened. Not like, I think like 5 likes or something, and people started questioning, why am I paying for ReverbNation? What's going on here? What am I getting out of this? I have an EPK. I can store an EPK and I can share it. And it was confusing to what ReverbNation's audience was. Was the audience the artists themselves, or was the audience trying to get fans to go to their ReverbNation page? And it was confusing because artists didn't really know. They're just like, hey, this platform, I can put my EPK. And that was, EPKs were just, it was all the rage at that time. And these artists and they can put up their music, they can put up their videos and socials. So it's a centralized location, storage hub in a sense. But there were other companies out there doing that. And what was the one that was the real big EPK one? I forgot that one.
Was that Bandcamp?
Bandcamp? Yeah,
Or
no, not Bandcamp. It was, I think it was Band, not Bandzoogle. No, it had Band. There was like, I think a period of time, like every company that came out had the word band in it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it's really interesting. And it would be interesting also to look over the years, the companies that ReverbNation itself acquired along the way. You know, there was Alex Mitchell's company. I don't remember the name of it that they acquired. There have been a couple of others along the way. Some of those were equity deals and some of them were cash deals. The equity deals, I wonder if those will have cashed out now with the acquisition by BandLab, or if BandLab is also just giving those entrepreneurs equity in BandLab.
That's it. That's interesting. I think because E Minor is the parent company of ReverbNation, and I don't know what that means in any org chart for or investment or anything like that. But
I don't either. But I know Mike Dornberg is the CEO of both E Minor and ReverbNation.
Okay, so E Minor might just be the holding company or then. So, you know, they talked about like 300,000 artists on the platform going back. And, you know, I think those acquisitions were just to bring in technology into, let's see, I'm trying to remember here. It's like that, like more metrics, analytics, I think, or more services, but, you know, widgets. I know that there was Tune Widget or something like that.
Right.
Was that one that was an acquisition? And
that was an acquisition.
It's like 15 years ago. My brain doesn't go that far back.
AudioKite is the name of the one that Alex Mitchell had that was acquired by ReverbNation a few years ago. And then Alex went to work at ReverbNation for a few years and has since launched something else now out in the Valley.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know what this means. And it seemed like one of those kind of, you know, like a graveyard in a sense, like almost like the internet graveyard. Like MySpace, you know, MySpace is still there, but it's just like, what's going on? It seemed like to me, ReverbNation became like this wasteland, and it's hard to reactivate when a social platform or any kind of platform like this starts losing its engagement. It's really hard to reinstate those people. So if this is an acquisition to bring in, you know, the roster of artists to be using BandLab, they're going to come across a challenge because of all the dead accounts. I mean, you know, we don't know how many accounts, but if you're going to have all these inactive accounts that are just sitting there.
Yeah. And what I found in the industry, even at Music X-Ray, is, you know, musician accounts in general tend to turn over fairly quickly. Because they'll use a service for a while, they'll get the value that they wanted from the service, and they'll move on to, you know, what they need next if the company isn't providing the next service that they need. So, you know, out of 500,000 artists or something that Music X-Ray has acquired over the years, artist accounts, active accounts, I would say there's, you know, somewhere around, you know, 100,000, something like that.
Yeah, I can't see this. You know, it's an undisclosed sum. I can't be seeing that much, and maybe because of their partners or whatever, they just were like, let's just unload this. Let's just if somebody wants to pay us some money, at least, you know, we're not going to lose everything. I have no idea, but I just pulled up BandLab here. So BandLab sold its 49% stake in Rolling Stone to America. So this is a parent company. So you have BandLab Technologies, and they also, they also include Harmony, Heritage Guitars, Guitar.com, NME, Uncut Music Tech. So again, I mean, they have video streaming service for DJs. They they acquired Gibson. Wow, yeah. No, BandLab has acquired digital audio. Oh, Sonar from Gibson. Okay, which also include Cakewalk. So then company released BandLab albums in 2020. It's software for digital distribution for independent artists. And they were reporting that 22 million people were using the BandLab app. March 2021, BandLab Technologies reported that there were 30 million using the app. So that's a 9 million year over year on that. And then they just announced this. So again, I mean, what their brands are: Cakewalk, Harmony, Music Tech, NME, Uncut. I mean, maybe they're just trying to. I don't know. Honestly, don't know. I can't think of what they want to do with this.
Yeah, well, it is I think the most interesting, deal in the last couple of weeks, and it will be interesting to see where that goes. Keep an eye on it.
Yeah, it's for the technology. Maybe it's just picking up like technology and just gutting it for some pieces.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, cool. Anyway, just wanted to chat a bit about that.
Right on. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for joining us. And thank you, everybody else. And that's going to wrap up for today. And we will be back tomorrow. Make sure to check out musicindustrycity.com. Have a great day, everybody.